In this video, we're going to talk about dividing fractions. So here we've got a diagram of one whole. So this whole bar represents one whole. And what we're being asked to do is to divide 1/3 divided by 4. So we've got one whole, and I've divided it into 3 parts. So we have the blue part, the green part, and the red part, which each represent 1/3 of this whole bar. So in each of these thirds, I divided it into 4 parts. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, 4 in the green and 4 in the blue. So I've shaded 1/3 of the whole, and if we divide it into 4 parts, each of those parts is one of these little squares, and one of these little squares represents 1/12 of the whole, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that means that 1/3, which is represented by this blue shaded part, divided into 4 parts. Here's the 4 parts. Each of those parts is 1/12 of the whole. Okay, let's look at another one. So here again, we have a whole, and I have divided it into fourths. So we have this blue part that's a fourth, the red part, the green part, and the black part. Each of those are a fourth of the whole. And what we're being asked to do is to say 1/4 divided by 2. So to help you visualize it, I've shaded 1/4, and we're going to divide that into 2 equal parts. So I've done that for each of these fourths. So one of those parts is one of these little squares right here. And each of these squares is 1/8 of the whole, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these little parts. So one of them is 1/8. So that means that 1/4, which is represented by this shaded area, divided into 2 equal parts. Each of those parts is 1/8 of the whole. Okay, so one more. Here I've shaded 1/2. The yellow part represents 1/2 of this entire whole square. So here's 1/2 and here's 1/2. So I've shaded 1/2. And what it's asking us is to say 1/2 divided into 3 parts. So I took this 1/2, which is this yellow section, and I divided it into 3 equal parts. And when we look at that, one of these parts is 1/6 of the whole, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rectangles, and one of them would be 1/6 of the whole. So what that means is 1/2, which is the yellow part, divided into 3 pieces. Each piece would be 1/6. So when we look at that, let's see what we've learned so far. We said that 1/3 divided into 4 parts, each part would be 1/12. Then the next one we looked at was 1/4 divided into 2 parts, and each part would be 1/8. And then the last one we had started with 1/2, and we divided it into 3 parts, and each part was 1/6. So I want you to pause the video for a minute and see, do you see a pattern? Do you see how we are dividing, and do you see a pattern in the answers? And when you're ready, start the video again. Okay, so what you may have noticed is that when you multiply the denominator here by the whole number, you get the denominator in your answer. So 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8. And 2 times 3 is 6. So what you have discovered is the formula that we use to divide fractions. And we call that keep, change, flip. And what that means is we keep this first fraction the same. Notice that this started as 3/4. We kept it as 3/4. Then we change from a division sign to a multiplication sign. And then we flip this last fraction. So in this case, we would say 3/4 times 6/1 because we flipped that fraction. And then we just solve it like a multiplication problem. So we say 3 times 6 is 18, and 4 times 1 is 4, which can be reduced to 4 2/4, which of course can be then further reduced to 4 1/2. So in the next video, we're going to look at some examples and work some together.